Levels 8 and 9 was rotten. A horrible experience I hope to avoid more in the future. More levels like that? Nah, nada. Nope. 9. Not again if I can help it. But as dangerous and horrible as those levels were, they were short in comparison to the other levels. I was only in level 8 for about 10 hours, and level 9 for about 8 hours. So, now where am I? As of now, I sit in a random barn as I write all this out. Found some more almond water in a bottle, so I feel slightly better now. Surrounded by fields of barley and wheat. The weather is cloudy. Survival Guide hasn't let me down yet. Level 10, Survival Difficulty Class 1. Low environmental risk, somewhat difficult to exit, and no hostile entities. I see this as one of those revisions in the guides. But at last, I finally get a chill level. I can relax here. Sort of. This is still the Backrooms. Caution is always advised. Only thing I need to worry about here is tripping over, since the worms on this level that is the entity. Apparently, they'll try to burrow under your skin if you're on the ground for too long. My, that's not disturbing at all. Just fields upon fields of grain produce as far as the eye can see. I wonder how many metric tons of grain could be here. I ponder on this, scratching my beard, but it just suddenly dawns on me that I'm on level 10. I'm only a step away from my objective. I feel a rush of euphoria upon the realization. After the sudden rush, I decide to relax on a box just outside the barn and just look at the field and just take it all in. I'd stay here without complaint, but I've been in this place for far too long already. I need to find a level 11 and find a way out of here, but let's just enjoy this view for a minute. How long has it been now? A week? 2 maybe? I didn't really count the days, and I didn't have my phone on me the day I arrived here, so I've been blind to the amount of time I've been here. When I arrived back in level 0, it felt like every second mattered. If I missed my shift, I'd lose the day's pay. If I wasn't back at the end of the month and missed the rent, then what? That'll put my family through hell. Now it's just taking way too long. I need to find an exit before I run out of time, and I'm not exactly sure how much time is left on the counter. I took my time, but now my stomach is growling hard enough, I can't ignore it. I must get up and move on. I'm exhausted. The sooner I find something to eat and sleep, the better. I walk along some walkways for about 3 hours before I see something in the distance, and it looked humanoid coming over a hill. I shout hey and wave to my arms. They shout back, confirming they are indeed human. I ran over, hoping I can get some food off them. I spoke to the 2-man team and asked if they'd part with some food, and they said they'd be happy to trade for food. So, these guys are with the BNTG, transporting supplies to a base on another level. Fair. Alright, let's trade. Sheesh. Those guys were true capitalist pigs. That was a lot of salvage for a poxy small meal. I got a chocolate bar, a granola bar, and an MRE from the military. Pork and beans. Better than shag all, I suppose. They wanted my rebreather, but there's no way I'm parting with this yet. I feel like they could have had me on for more, but probably didn't feel like testing their luck with the scary man armed with knives and covered in entity blood. Anyway, me and the 2 men part ways. I dare not ask questions for level 11, or they charge me for that too. Let's find a barn, pitch camp, eat my meal, and get some sleep. I get a good night's sleep after a good warm meal. I cook the MRE by boiling the bag in almond water under a campfire I set out some broken boxes. And then the chocolate bar for dessert. Feels nice, like I'm camping again. I sleep on top of a desk in the barn. I wake up the next day feeling completely refreshed. Might have been a good 14-hour sleep. Heh. I pack up the last of the almond water I found and munch my morning granola, and I'm ready to set out. Peeking outside the barn, the level has since become overcast with fog. Looks like navigation is going to be a bit harder now. This level is by far the fastest I had been on. I wandered around for about 2 full days and only found barns, houses, and, you guessed it, more grains. I kept running into different walkways and even followed some asphalt roads to no real avail, scrounging supplies and stopping to eat and sleep as I go, trying to find the exit along the way. I feel comfortable wandering around on the level. Supplies are uncommon to find, so I'm not entirely starving or thirsty, but this can't last forever. I even attempted to make a porridge out of some of the wheat here, but it just turns into a very light paste with barely any flavour, like there's zero nutritional value in this wheat whatsoever. Pointless. Also, with the knowledge of the lack of entities does wonders on my mental health. I did find something unusual though. I found a particular barn house that was covered in confetti and helium balloons scattered about. Looks like someone had one hell of a party in there. At first, I thought this was it, my grand extravagant finishing line and my way towards level 11, but as I approach the scene with caution, I see out in front of the porch a newspaper display stand. You know, the ones you see outside of a corner shop displaying their headlining news. And on it, it reads, "Come this way to join in on the fun. We have cake." Yeah, right. People cake, most likely. I also spot a picnic table with balloons and almond water. I decided to ignore the obvious trap and move on. More tedious walking later, and just as hope was fading, I finally come across an asphalt, double-laned road. On a road sign, there was a note left by a wanderer. Level 11, this way. I find that same note on every road sign on the road. This is it. Finally. After everything I've been through, I'm finally one step closer to getting out of here. I followed a road for what felt like days, but likely it was probably an hour's walk, but it just felt longer. I'm low on food and critical on almond water, and I'm still in sort of a daze after the events of the harder levels. That might have something to do with my delirium. Before I knew it, I see it. There it is. A city skyline. The city grows ever larger as I approach, and the fog even clears up to the point where it's now completely visible, and it's a glorious sight. It's still dull and foggy, but to me it looks like heaven. I cross a bridge, and now I'm in the city proper.